That's how I feel right now because I'm freaking out. So. Hey everyone, it's Jessica and welcome back to Seduce Me to the Demon War, and we're finally... Oh my god, okay, if you saw the last episode, I was freaking out. I'm still freaking out over this. I'm sorry to leave you hanging, by the way, but we are going to see the conclusion, I guess, of this route. I think I made a mistake because I killed fucking Diana, and I'm really upset about that. Oh my god. Okay, let's just begin now. I instantly rushed over and knelt at Erik's side, wrapping an arm around over him as he slowly began to rise back up.
I'm fine, princess.
No, you're not! I shook my head and looked to Orabelle, seeing her slowly make her way towards us. I was certain that the body she was using was drained of any blood. Yet she managed to continue to move with her own energy. It was morbidly disgusting to see, but I was forced to bear witness as it came close to where we were. What are you going to do? Erik and I looked to each other, desperate to find an answer in each other's eyes. However, one finally appeared in my mind. According to Diana, when I had Orabelle with me, I was overflowing with energy. If I was still standing, then I still had some left. There wasn't enough in me to fight, but there was enough to give to Erik, possibly to help him. I suddenly grabbed Erik's face and kissed him, laying my energy into his body. Erik, despite naturally accepting it, stared wide-eyed at me in surprise. You're taking my energy, Erik! I didn't want to pass out, so I pulled away when I began to feel lightheaded. I hoped and prayed that it was enough energy to end this fight, so I smiled at Erik, nodding to him. Finish this so we can go home. Oh my god! Jesus Christ, please! Oh no! I quickly collapsed onto my hands, panting for air. The room began to spin, but I had to shake it off. I had to see this through. Erik gazed at me before nodding and turning to Orabelle, who was halfway across the room now. Slowly, Erik rose to his feet and summoned his mob of tendrils, each dancing, waving like angry shakes in the air.
You've been in my way for long enough, spirit.
Walking forward, Erik lashed out his tendrils at Orabelle, whipping and snapping at the body she was possessing and forcing it back. Despite her attempts to block and force them away, even so, a spike would fly from Erik's ring of tendrils, piercing into Orabelle like a skewer. As Erik passed the Demon Lord's sword, he reached down and picked it up, surprisingly with ease. I could barely stand and grip onto the wall as I watched Erik lift the sword up to his head.
You possessed my wife, brought her to this world, and dared to attack her? All because of what my father did to you. Pitiful.
Orabelle let out a threatened and frightened shout, lurching forward and trying to tackle Erik, but was pushed away by the Demon Lord's blade and Erik's tendrils, causing her to knock back and collapse into a nearby pillar. Orabelle slowly rose, pushing off the debris off of her, before glaring hard at Erik. Erik glared back in kind before raising his father's blade up and to his side, preparing to charge forward with it and plunge into her.
I will send you to purgatory and free you from your suffering.
Oh my god, Erik, please don't die. One last cry, Erik ran and thrust the Demon Lord's sword forward into Orabelle, causing her to cry out. That's how I feel right now because I'm freaking out. So, the room began to vibrate and quake, causing me to cover my head. However, Erik released the hilt of the sword and rushed back to me. A bright, light-filled room, blinding Erik and I. Erik gripped onto me, trying to cover my body with his, but the white color of flash invaded my vision. Silence slowly consumed the air as my world became a blank like a canvas. I looked up to see two orbs, both colored in different purple hues, dancing around each other. As I stared, they stopped and bobbed in the air.
Thank you. You freed me at last.
What? Orabelle? Diana? As I stared, the darker orb floated forward slightly, acknowledging the name I had called it. I couldn't believe it before I spoke again. However, Diana's voice filled the air.
It's all right. I did my part to save this world. And now I can be with my family.
What about Setup? Oh my god, we just ruined the ship. Saiana. I'm yelling so much and it's like 12 o'clock at night. I'm so sorry to like my house. Oh my god. My heart felt like breaking. The orb that I assumed to be Orabelle spun around Diana's orb and giggled.
Come on, let's go see Mother and Father.
One moment, darling dear.
The orb slowly formed into a ghost form of Diana, who, despite holding a smile, was shedding tears.
Dear, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry about you! Diana held up her hand and gently shushed me before slowly looking back up at me, eyes full of sadness and heartbreak.
I do not deserve your kindness, but please do one thing for me before you leave this world.
What is it? What?
Please, Tell Sarah that I'm sorry.
No! Oh my god! I ruined my ship! Oh my god, I fucked it up! Oh my god. Oh my god, I feel like crying now. I just ruined it! Oh my god. My heart continues to rip in two. Seto had been with Diana for a long time, and now he was all alone. Diana's expression weakened to a softer sadness, but the smile on her face remained.
Tell him that I loved him, and will love him forever. I will wait at the gates of purgatory for him to return to me.
Oh my god, what did I do? I was unsure of what I could say. I was to be the one to completely wipe out Seto's entire world. How in the world was I going to live with myself with that burden, even after it happened? Despite this, I nodded. I will. Oh my god! We got him out of the friend zone, and they had this adorable moment. Holy shit, I just ruined everything. I'm really sad now. Diana smiled brighter at me, more tears falling down her cheeks before Orabelle's orb danced once again around her.
Come on! Orabelle! Is there?
Is that her mother?
Mother!
Orabelle finally floated off and faded away, a soft echo goodbye fading with her. Diana, however, remained still looking to me.
Human, thank you for saving this world. May your journey back to your own world be safe, and may you be happy for the rest of your lives.
Oh my god, Diana, Zaire, goodbye! Oh my god, I ruined everything! Fuck my life. Diana waved and turned around, finally fading into the light. As the world returned me to the Great Hall, I found myself still wrapped in Erik's arms. I looked up to see him staring down at me in worry, like I had passed out. Erik?
Love, are you alright?
Oh my god, you're alright though. Despite the rogue tears that ran down my face, I nodded. I was alright now. The battle was over and I was free to return home. Great sacrifices were made, but it was all over now. I was going home.
Well, you did it! Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your story. I have to say, I am very surprised at how it turned out. Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out in the end, whether it was for the better or otherwise.
Wait, is this a good ending?
I mean, who would have thought that Diana's own sister was the one that brought you to the demon world? It's a small universe, isn't it? However, your love came through in the end. With your strength, Erik was finally able to defeat Orabelle and send her to the afterlife, where she belonged. Anyways, you've been through a lot, so why don't we skip to... Huh? You want to know what happened after the war?
Yeah?
I mean, I guess I could tell you.
Please tell me, Kay.
After the war was finished, the entire rebellion celebrated. Word spread far and wide about the rebellion's success, and soon every kingdom in the Abyssal Plains had become united with the new authority. You would think demons would be more hostile towards each other, being demons and all, but the threat of the Demon Lord was what brought the entire world together.
Who is Kay, actually? I don't even know who she is.
The entire world united under one banner, the Lilith Crest. Diana became the sovereign of the entire plane, accepted and loved by practically everyone because of her devotion to the world and her bravery in the war. And, thanks to you, she was finally able to find true love in the form of a tainted Nephilim named Sero.
Wait, what?
Oh, crap! I shouldn't have let that one slip.
What?
Anyway, when they bound their souls together in marriage, he became king of the demon world. However, it was just a title to him. The real power belonged to Diana.
Oh, damn! Oh my god, so they're still together! Okay, thank god. I was about to cry, I thought I ruined everything.
Diana became one of the most beloved rulers in all of Demon World history. Her natural heart of gold led her to lead the world to a prosperous future, one filled with peace and happiness.
Interesting. I'm probably gonna put on the screen how that works out.
The other rebel leaders supported her, eventually changing the caste system of the world and slowly working their way towards a plane as equal and peaceful as it could be. Diana had her suspicions, of course, as any monarch would, but if they had any sort of bad thoughts about her before, they certainly didn't during the recreation of the world. And I believe that is everything that happened after... Well,
what
except
happened to Erik,
anyway.
Okay?
Erik and you returned home, and since everything was taken care of before he found you, you got ready for the actual wedding.
Oh, thank God.
Huh? How do I know? Well, I have my ways. Maybe you should check it out.
Okay. Where is it? Where's the wedding? Where is it? Now that I was unhindered by the spirit I couldn't control, I was able to finally move on and say yes to Erik with every ounce of my heart in the wedding vows. My entire being became light as I watched his expression melt into endless joy at my vows to him. Our kiss was magical as a fairy tale prince and princess kiss, glowing in positive and hopeful energy as the people who watched and cheered in congratulations. I could go on about the wedding and the honeymoon, but honestly, after the war, I was more concerned of living my life afterwards. Our lives escalated to new heights after we officially became husband and wife. Erik started a chain of suit shops and became a very powerful man in the fashion business industry. Oh my God, Erik is slaying. Alright, this is good. I like this. It was hilarious to see him square up James every fitting he needed with a smirk of equal standing up to once his upper tier brother. As for me, I began to go through my own success in life, dedicating myself to becoming exactly what I wanted to be. After all, my husband had made a name for himself in the fashion world. If I put the same amount of work as I did in the demon world, then I was going to be okay. However, there was never a day went by that I didn't think about what was happening in the Abyssal Plain. It was a heavy chapter in my life, one that tested love between me and Erik. To think that I was under influence of a child that needed to be set free still astounded me to no end. For a moment, I made myself believe that I was pregnant instead. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. That would have been cool if, like, our character was, because, like, finding the grandfather's, like, journal notes, I honestly thought she was. Still, I was confident that we would get through it and stay together no matter what came our way. Demon, devil, spirit, it didn't matter us. We were unstoppable together. The faint memory of our own power slightly tingled through me every time I grew confident, eagerly reminding me that I had strength of my own. I would never let anyone come between me and Erik ever again. The thought of it echoed in my mind as I sat in bed, looking up at the ceiling with a wide smile on my face. Despite the danger being real, the war was an adventure fun to look back upon my memories. It wasn't fun, what are you talking about? I took in a breath and let out a sigh, leaning back against the bedpost and closing my eyes. I was at peace and everything was alright.
Princess?
Holy shit! Sorry! Oh my God, I opened my eyes to the sound of my pet name, looking up to see Erik at the door, smiling at me and holding a plate of food. Unlike the demon world, this world had makings of pastry, eggs, bacon, and sausage, and other delicious concoctions made that early morning. As I took in the sight of my favorite foods on the plate in Erik's hand, I licked my lips and let out a happy hum. Hey, that looks delicious.
And it's all for you.
Aww. I was squealing internally, feeling a bit spoiled at the treatment he was giving me. As he walked over and sat on the edge of the bed, Erik handed me a plate and watched as I accepted it and took a bite of what he offered, groaning at the amazing taste. With a smile, I took some of it onto the fork that was on the plate and offered it to Erik. Seeing him stared at me in slight surprise before smiling and taking the bite, licking his lips after. Thank you, Erik. You spoil me.
Anything for you, my sweet princess.
Oh, he's so cute. I giggled at the name, nuzzling Erik's hand as it came up to caress my cheek lovingly. His hands were always soft and warm, perfect to hold me and make me feel loved and safe. I opened an eye to look up at him, cutely seeing him blush with a smile of his own.
I would happily do anything for you.
Oh my God, why is he so cute? Stop. Anything?
Anything. Just name it.
I cupped his hand and gently placed a kiss over his palm, feeling him stare in surprise at the gesture. I could almost hear the blush on his face intensify before I looked back at him to confirm it. He was red as an apple. Perfect, I giggled again and nuzzled his hands, almost laying it on my head. Be with me forever? Oh my God, so cute! The fluffiness! It took a small, cute moment for Erik to regain his composure before nodding, brushing strands of hair behind my ear.
Forever. And always.
Ah, it's so cute! Hold me every day and every night.
As close as I can hold you to me.
Why is he so cute? Oh my God. Sweet waves of joy rushed through me every answer he gave, confirming his devotion and love to me. I was so lucky to have him as my own, and I could tell that he believed himself to be the lucky one. In honesty, we were both lucky ones, perfectly blending together and devoting ourselves to each other without second thoughts. We proved it in the demon world, and we would prove it in the rest of our lives. I gently pulled Erik towards me, moving the plate between us to the nightstand, smiling as he came close before capturing his lips with mine in a loving kiss. He was definitely surprised, but it wasn't long before he began to kiss back just as passionately. The gentle taste of rose and raid always made me feel at peace, as I managed to find it on Erik's lips. He was my perfect prince and I was his loving princess. Our mansion was a castle, the human world was our kingdom to explore. What story could have been better? As we gently pulled away, we gazed into each other's eyes, becoming lost in them. All I could see in his purple irises were waves of love and care, filling my heart with everlasting peace. I began to wonder what he saw in my eyes. Whatever it was, he became entranced and could do nothing but wrap his free arm around me, pulling me to him lovingly.
Everything in my life belongs to you. My heart, my body, my soul, everything. I swear to give you everything I am, and love you until the end of time. Nothing will tear me away from you.
Erik, that's so cute! With a tender kiss on my forehead, Erik's expression softened in a gaze of deep love.
I love you, princess. I love you so much.
Oh my god! I believed every word. I let his words embed themselves into my heart, and I would remember them forever. As Erik kissed me again, locking lips with mine, he sealed his words. I would love him and continue to hold him close for the rest of my life. Nothing would be able to tear me away from him any longer. And with that, my perfect happily ever after. And hopelessly devoted to you. So I got the good ending! I got the good ending! I'm actually surprised that I actually got the good ending, no joke, because I'm very bad at making decisions. If you've seen my other Let's Plays, you know what I'm talking about. I make the dumbest decisions ever, and I always get like a very sad or terrible ending. And to get a good ending with Seduce Me too, this is what I was fearing, because I was reading comments and you guys were saying, be careful with Erik, you could get a bad ending, and I'm oh my god. It's just, I can finally, like, breathe right now. Even though I killed Diana, and that made me really sad because of Saiana, Sero and Diana. Oh my goodness. Shout out to, like, everybody who worked on this game. Oh my goodness, Michaela. This was so much better than Seduce Me 1. Like, I love Seduce Me 1, but this was, like, holy shit, like, level. I reacted much more loudly to this game than the previous one. And shout out to Christopher Escalante, who plays Husbando Erik, and for the awesome music that he provided for the game. Holy shit, I can't breathe. Like, I'm so relieved. Usually, I don't skip the credits of any, like, game that I do because I want everyone to see who worked on the game, and I appreciate everyone who worked on the game, you know what I mean? So, these are all the awesome people that you should go look up. Especially Michaela, if you want to see her other games or works, I'll have links in the description to that too. But, holy shit. So, now that Seduce Me 2, well, Erik's wrote, is done, I actually made a poll, I think like last week or something. It's in the description of this video or in the comments, you can check it out there. I made a poll to ask you guys help, because I can't decide on which Incubi brother to do next. Because I love them all equally. Well, Erik more. But I love them all a lot. But I don't know who should be next. And the last time I looked at the poll, I think Sam was like in the lead. So, after this video comes out, I'm going to take a break from Seduce Me just for like a few days. You know, get some more other content out. I hope you guys don't mind. And then we'll come back to Seduce Me 2. And then whoever wins the poll during that time, I will do the road. So we're going to go back to Seduce Me 1. I'm not going to play the full story of Seduce Me 1. If you're curious about that story, I highly suggest you get the game yourself. The link's in the description. It's free to play. So if you're really curious about the story of that, you can get it there. Or just watch my Let's Play that I'll have somewhere on the screen. But instead it'll be just about Erik. But I'm just going to do the scenes of the actual brothers in Seduce Me 1. And then I'll come to Seduce Me 2. We'll see if we'll get a good ending. And then, I don't know, I want to see you know what? I kind of want to see Erik's bad ending. So, I think that's what I'm going to do after this. I also heard, well, because I stalk, like, everybody on Tumblr, Michaela's Tumblr, she's making, like, epilogues to the story of Seduce Me, so there's gonna be a bunch for each brother, and I'm just curious what's Erik's gonna be, cause his story was pretty emotional. Even the Seduce Me one, I felt so bad because his story is really sad, and I'm really happy that we have a happy ending. So thank you again, Michaela, for making this game, because I am total Seduce Me trash, and it's awesome. Yeah, question mark at the end. Anyway, so what I'm going to do right now is going to go back to before we made the decision to kill freaking Diana. Okay, we're back now. So this time, instead of calling to Diana, I'm going to grab her. Let's see what happens. There's no way I was going to let Orabelle hurt her, sister or not. I rushed forward and grabbed Diana by the horn, pulling her back as fast as I could. Diana gripped onto my hands, digging her nails into my skin, but I didn't care. I needed to bring her away from the incoming enemy. As I dragged her back, Orabelle watched, unamused by my intrusion. I could only glare back despite Diana failing at my hands. She wouldn't take her away. I wouldn't let her. I finally released Diana's horns and stepped forward, placing myself between the two sisters. I won't let you hurt her! Orabelle loomed towards us, filling me with dread. The stench of the Demon Lord's corpse became unbearable, despite not being dead for long. I still had no energy to fight, and the realization making me step back from the undead demon.
You hurt me!
Okay, so this is after Erik stabs Orabelle, the corpse. I quickly grabbed Diana, pulling up to her feet, and ran to the corner of the room, needing to be in the room still to help Erik, but desperate to keep Orabelle away from Diana.
Orabelle!
Diana began to flail and fight back, but I dug my nails into Diana's sides, forcing her back and with gritted teeth. Diana, move! As Diana back into the corner of the room, I could hear Erik release a grunt of pain, causing me to look over my shoulder to see what happened. Okay, so now it's just Orabelle. What happened now? Orabelle spun itself, releasing a small giggle. It smelled overjoyed. Had Orabelle been under some sort of corruption?
I can finally go home!
Orabelle.
Turned my head to see Diana slowly walk forward to be by my side, staring at the orb, both in sadness and relief. Orabelle floated over and hovered in front of Diana, a soft line of sadness on her own voice.
I'm sorry, big sister,
It's alright. You're free now.
Diana wrapped her arms around Orabelle, laying her cheek softly on the orb as it flickered a warm glow. The air was calm and love between Diana and Orabelle seemed to hum with the orb's light. However, Diana was alive, and I could tell that this was her final goodbye to the sister she never met. It was heartwarming as well bittersweet, but Diana deserved proper closure with her sister she grew to love.
Tell Mother and Father that I'm alright, okay?
Oh my god, was this a better ending? Oh my goodness.
Orabelle?
Diana and I suddenly looked to the light as hearing a man's voice. Orabelle spun around in a circle, letting out a happy gasp.
Father? Father!
Orabelle quickly lifted Diana's arms and began to fly into the bright light, but stopped and spoke once more.
Take care of the world, okay? You're everyone's mother now, sister.
Diana grinned and chuckled a bit, stray tears falling down her side of her face.
I'll do my best.
Bye-bye, human!
Bye! I couldn't help but wave at the orb finally faded into the light, okay? Diana, who had been sitting in the corner of the room, braced her knees to her chest, taking in what had happened as well. I was positive that she was truly there with me to say goodbye to Orabelle, so she had to recuperate.
Sarah.
Oh my god, okay. At her voice, a soft flash of light pulsed in front of her before revealing Seto out of breath.
Isaiah!
Despite being out of breath, Seto dropped to his knees and wrapped his arms around Diana. Oh my god!
I was on my way to tell you! We've won! We forced the enemy to dissolve and surrender and...
Shut up.
Seto finished before Diana wrapped her arms around his chest and pulled them tightly against her.
Just hold me.
Seto stared down at Diana before nodding and embracing her, resting his head against hers comfortably. I could hear her soft sobbing from her, but I was glad to know that Seto was there for her. I looked up at Erik and smiled before kissing him, relishing in the victory over rebellion and release of my curse. I was finally going home. As the smoke cleared, we were victorious. The soldiers left standing there were ones to cheer the victory. The sky became littered with howls and cries of the joyful and happy. The training of the demon lord had ended. But now what? Home was now possible. We could go home to the human world and we could live our lives as we wanted. It was something I desperately wanted, yet my body was not ready to make the journey just yet. We had to celebrate the success of the war after all. Oh, okay, this is different. As the full moon rose over the Lilith castle to the dawn, the entirety of the demon world celebrated with an endless drink of food and laughter and dancing. It was so surreal. It was so unreal, but the courtyard that I could see was filled with smiles and happy faces. We had stayed for one more night, traveling back to the Lilith Castle to rest and return home as healthy as we could be. After all, we had just gone through a war. One more night in the demon world wasn't going to hurt us. While the majority of the rebellion danced in the courtyard, I remained with the Incubi and the rebel leaders, who were all in the royal hall having their own celebration. Drinks were shared and battle stories were exchanged, making some laugh and others rolled their eyes. I found myself intrigued at the stories Sergeant told about the front line. As I looked to Diana, however, she simply kept quiet with all the smiles on her face. She looked at the Incubi and the rebel leader in silence before walking away from the little party we had. As if she knew I was staring at her, Diana looked over to me, slightly gesturing her head to follow her. I followed, curious as to where we were going. I made sure to remain quiet as I separated from the rest of the group and followed her out the room into the hall. The entire journey, Diana didn't speak a word. Even Cedar didn't follow her, most likely being told that she wanted to speak to me alone. Diana led me through the castle, up a couple of set of stairs, into what looked like a royal bedroom with a balcony. Was this a guest room? It was untouched, and I could smell the very faint of dust. Why was she bringing me here? This is like Seduce Me 1, the ending. Diana stepped into the room, using her magic to ignite Thalbros and airs out of the room to opening the balcony window. Before I could ask, however, Diana finally spoke up.
I have to thank you, dear.
For what?
For aiding us in this war. We've been fighting the Demon Lord for so long. We thought the war would never end. As terrible as the circumstance was, if you hadn't been summoned here, we probably would have still been fighting now.
Maybe. Diana walked to the balcony and leaned against the railing, staring into the dark night sky. The light from the room illuminated her form as she gazed at the stars. Despite the situation around us, the air seemed calmed and faint echo of the celebration whispers through the night. I walked over and stood beside her, leaning against the balcony, and looked at Diana as she smiled and let out a chuckle.
To be very honest, I didn't expect to ever see you again. After I took your energy that night, I vowed to never deal with humans again. No clairvoyance could have told me about you coming into play in this war.
Oh, okay, so she only took her energy. Okay, I thought she did something else. I wasn't exactly counting on coming here. I still don't want to be here. It was good to see you again, though, but at least I got to help bring peace here. I'd like to think at least I got to bring peace, right? Diana smiled, nodding to me. I was really glad to help bring peace into a world. It wasn't out of pride or vanity. It was a matter of helping people clearly need.
We owe you much thanks.
I'll accept your thanks when I finally get married.
Oh, I had almost forgotten.
I tilted my head at her. What was she talking about? Diana lifted one of her hands towards the sky and waved her hand through the air, making a soft purple mist glow around her fingers. Within seconds, the mist morphed and formed itself into a lavender-colored lily, resting peacefully between Diana's fingers. She brought it down and presented it to me with a kind gaze.
A gift, my dear.
Oh, okay. A gift? I slowly took the flower out of Diana's hands and inspected it visually. It was light, but I could feel the soft glow of magic emanating from the stem and petals. The bloom reminded me of the human world lily, but something about it seemed otherworldly.
A flower known only to demons of Lilith. We call it the Flower of Lilith, because these flowers were said to have been created when Lilith first appeared in the Abyssal Plains.
I stared at Diana, not understanding why she was giving me such a gift. She chuckled at my confusion, and leaning against the railing, continued her explanation.
It is also a flower we succubi use when we marry.
Aww, she's so sweet. Us? What do you mean? Diana chuckled again before she gently took the flower from my hands and tucked it behind my ear. As it settled against my ear, I felt the mist circle my head and form a flower crown of lavender lilies. The way Diana looked at me made me feel like I was my bridal wear already.
A human you may be, but Lilith would have been proud to see you marrying one of her own. These flowers represent her blessing, and may only crown the worthy.
Oh my god, Diana, you're so sweet. I felt the blush run across my cheeks. This was a blessing? I slowly reached up and ran my fingers along the flower crown, adoring it in my head, feeling the soft petals against my fingertips. They were almost pulsing with energy. I felt both flattered and honored that a simple flower felt that I was worthy enough to crown my head. Diana let out a sigh and looked back at the sky, making me do the same. One would have expected the sky to be full of smoke or smell of war aftermath, but the sky was clear and fresh air drifted through my nose as I inhaled. It was indeed another world, and tonight was my last night in it. Okay, so apparently I never made, wrong choices then, so my entire route was leading up to the good ending no matter what I did. So it must have been something else. So we'll do the bad ending of Eric's, and then we'll move on to the next Incubi brother. Okay. I think I got the bad ending now. I just replayed it quickly, and now we're here.
You hurt me. Hurt me. Now I'll hurt you.
Orbel picked up the Demon Lord's broken blade and slammed it together, fusing into a sword. Alright. Orbel, she charges over. Oh no! Oh my god! Erik! Oh my god! Sticking out Eric's back was the Demon Lord's blade. It ran through his chest towards me, barely inches away from my own chest. Erik, impaled, twitched as he stared down at the sword's blade. My heart began to cry and scream. This couldn't be happening. No! Oh my god! Oh my god! Orbel quickly pulled the blade back out and sheathed it back into Eric's body as if she wanted to be sure that she had killed him. I barely heard the last breath of life. Oh my god! I became so absorbed in the sound of my scream that I couldn't register Orbel pulling out of the blade and stepping around Erik, running through my neck. Oh shit! So we both died! What? Oh my god, I'm so glad I got the good ending. Oh, my heart would not be... Oh my god, I'm starting to tear up a little bit. I would not be able to handle that if I got that ending. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm just like, wow, I'm still shocked that I got the good ending on my first try. If I got the bad ending, I think I would have lost my shit, honestly. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know what to feel right now. I'm just in shock. Okay. I'll see you in the next episode. I'm scared to know what the other bad endings are. This is very just... I am dead inside. Okay. Goodbye, internet!